estate is you buy and live there. If you want to invest, you invest commercial and real estate, residential real estate. Everybody buy and live. That's a US policy, and indirectly government policies too. But okay, and the market went up. Then they try to bring different concept to reduce the real estate market or control the real estate market, make it affordable for all the Canadians. That means if the government do some changes, I always look at carefully in the positive way rather than the negative way. Government want to look after the publics. Government want to look after every generation today and after 10 years too. In that case, what happened from 2016, there are a few changes came to the mortgage industry. First, they changed it to the down payment strategies, 5% only for up to 500,000, and over 500,000. Over 500,000, we had to put part of the balance come 10% market, and interest rate, they increase the interest rate. After they increase the interest rate, that was affected another industries too. Interest rate is depending on the bond market, stock market, trading market, and manufacturing industries. People's borrowing the money and the bank loans and everything. An industrial person borrow the money from the bank. If the bank rate goes up, he is going to pay more interest. In that case, that's affect the regular industrial and transportation. Everything was affected if they increase the interest rate. Then the government was thinking different angle. How can we bring it down the real estate market? Or how can we control, not bring it down, control the real estate market? Every Canadians can buy an affordabilities. Okay, that's the concern for the government. Is then what they did, 2017, they did two changes. 2017, they bring the, is it 2017 or 18, the foreign tax credit? 2017 April 23rd, the foreign tax, I mean the non-resident tax. Canada government follow British government, and before Ontario, British Columbia started the same thing, non-resident tax for the metropolitan area. And when we implement for the Ontario government, when they implement, they did for the residential for the Golden Horseshoe area, and the properties less than 5, the 6plex. So the single residence up to 5plex, only for residential. They bought the non-resident tax credit. That's control the market. Definitely, we all know 2017 what was the changes for the market. Plus, the government did. That time they introduced the story I'm telling you. Everybody has to have some knowledge. That time they introduced the stress test. Stress test is not new. 2017, end of 2017, Government of Canada, right, introduced the stress test. The stress test, they said, bank rate, they don't want to touch it. As I said, if they touch the bank rate, that's affect all the other industries. Again, bond industry, stock market, manufacturing industry, especially people are borrowing the money and doing the manufacturing. In that case, they wanted to control only for the real estate industry. Then the stress test, they bring only for the qualifying rate. That means, what is the qualifying rate means? You can go and get the bank the rate. Nowadays, this is a historically low bank rate we are enjoying right now. Already 20 years, I would say, since 9/11 attack, 9/11 US attack. After that one, the world economic policies was changed, and many countries' policies was changed, and US brought the interest rates down, different period, and many reasons, guys. Last 20 years interest rate is, if you go and look at the 100 years graph, go and Google it for the last 100 years interest rate graph. 80s interest rate was 18% interest rate. 1980s in 18% interest rate was there too. One of the time in Canada now anyway 0.25 the bank rate right now. Okay, we come to the stress test, and nowadays the bank are giving the historical low rate 1.5%, 1.7%, 1.8%. That's the reason everybody surviving right now, because of the luxury houses everybody living right now. Everybody living the luxury houses. Everybody living and having over $1 million mortgages and paying because of the lower interest rate. Almost government giving the free money, 1.5% to 2% interest rate is almost considered, in my experience and whatever I seen before, is very lowest rate. the Canada government and most of the world we are enjoying this one. This started from after 9/11 attack and everything. Okay, come back to stress test. Okay, the stress test, they started 2018 January. Even though you pay less money for the mortgage interest, but at the same time, qualifying rate, they set it up that point 4.79% qualifying rate. That's mean even though the bank give you 1.8% for the mortgage interest rate for variable, or 2% for the fixed rate, or even some credit union can give you 1.6, doesn't matter. And CMACH mortgages can be lower, doesn't matter. But the qualifying rate, now they said, they set it up that time 4.779 for the conventional mortgages only. Only conventional mortgage. That's mean the mortgages we are putting 20% down payment. The conventional can now unconventional 2018 20 plus 2018. I just want to make sure, because he's here, he's a mortgage guy. In that case, if I have a doubt, I always ask a person who's surrounding. I have the notes, but still, rather than going the notes, he is in front of me, ask him. Okay, all right. 2018, they brought up the stress test 4.79. Who are putting 20% conventional mortgages only, qualifying rate. After that one, bank can give you whatever rate they want. Okay, that's the one was there. The government was planning to increase for last year 2020 October, and during the pandemic and everything, they was holding that one, and now they implementing for the stress test from 4.79 to 5.25. Now the qualifying rate for the mortgages, but this time the changes qualifying rate for the conventional and unconventional rate. That's mean if somebody putting the lower down payment and going for the CMACH mortgage, as well as 20% conventional mortgage, whatever the mortgages people get is going to be 5.25% for the qualifying rate. Or another side, if somebody going for a B lender side, posted rate, what are the rate you're going to get, not posted rate, what are the rate you're going to get, offering rate, what are the rate lender is offering, plus 2%, which one is lowest? The cap is going to be there. That's the way the stress test started. Okay, my question right now, we are real estate agent. Whatever happening, guys, whatever happening, we want to take advantage on it. Okay, how do you think your buyer come? That's the question I'm going to leave it to you right now to think and participate. If the buyer asking the mortgage rate went up, or the stress test went up, mortgage rate didn't go up, you have to be careful, mortgage rate didn't go up. If the stress test, some people say, I got the calls from different clients, the mortgage rate went up. Is it true? I said, no. Is it only stress test? I want you to understand, 121 people's agents are here in our group right now. Everybody need to understand very clearly. How are you going to answer this question if the buyer asks you if it's the right time to buy it or not? Maybe the stress test maybe reduce the price for the future. Then what is the advice? I want you to participate. At least 5 people I'm expecting to have you answer to participate. What is the answer you're going to give? The buyer coming and asking, is it market is going to slow down based on the stress test? Can I wait to buy or can I wait to sell? What is the answers, guys? Come out. At least few people come out and answer. What if somebody buyer is calling you? But I want you to participate. I have a few questions, but I'll come back to the questions later. The stress test question. The clients call you.
This is the perfect time to buy and this is the perfect time to sell.
That's perfect. That's a perfect answer, Mohan. Today, real estate, we want to sell it today, we want to sell it for tomorrow too. The times is good. If somebody come and say, that's a perfect answer, Mohan. You one person come and finish the answer for everybody. I don't need 5 people anymore. Okay, if somebody come and ask me, for real estate, people's calling me, I want to study real estate. Am I late? Am I late starting it? Is it Hamburg College is too expensive? So many things people think. If somebody said, I'm late to start up the real estate, not only real estate, anything anybody come and say, my answer I always tell, the baby born today, in 40 years time, going to be the Prime Minister of Canada. Then the baby born last year, that's not late. Everyone, he have a chance. Anytime you start, So many successful people even started the certain businesses even after 60s. I don't need to repeat that one. You guys even know, everybody, you guys know the story of KFC and McDonald's and so many people's stories we already seen. Nothing is late, guys. Nothing is late. Okay, today's market is today's market. More is a good answer. Okay, for example, the stress test for me is not going to affect too much for our industry, especially our target market. Real estate is unique. Real estate market, if somebody say how is the market in real estate, if somebody from England, they're asking what is the Canada market, I cannot say Canada market. Canada, every real estate pockets are different. Different provinces are different. Even Toronto, even Ontario, different areas different. York is different than Durham. Even Durham, the different municipalities. The Ajax is different than Clarington and Bowmanville. Market is a pocket, every pocket. Same thing, whatever we are dealing in our group of peoples, ethnic peoples. I can tell you in the openly, we know the mortgage qualification side. 4.79 to 5.25 is not a big difference for us. Time is good timing. What you're going to buy based on today's standard. Today's standard. Market might be changed, but the buyers buying and selling it is going to move. We had to continue the same way as it is. That's my answer. And last time I did the same stress test with the KCM. That's the reason I said, okay, maybe I can tell our group of agents for this question. That question he asked me, he said the lenders having a different credit score. He asked about the credit score question. Maybe I can repeat those questions. He said, is there any restrictions? Is there any restriction the Bank of Canada or else the authorities who are setting up the rates? Is there any target rule they have for the credit score to qualify the mortgages? Unfortunately, we don't know. Or fortunately, we are in the real estate industry people. We hardly say fortunately, there is no credit score system. The reason behind, there are not only one credit agency. Different credit agency are reporting the score. We can say 2-3 credit reporting agencies having a different rate for based on their formulas, and plus the bank, which bank is following plus the banks having their lending policy. Bank have their own lending policy to give the money out based on the lending policy. If the banks are balance sheet lenders, guys. Banks are balance sheet lenders. That means based on the balance sheet, just picking the numbers, their balance sheet is only say 50 billion. I just pick a number. Okay, 50 billion, their balance sheet asset. How many percentage they want to go for the residential mortgage? How many percentage they want to go for the commercial? How many percentage they want to go for the manufacturing loan? How many percentage they want to invest for the commercial? They have balance sheet lenders, their lending policies they have. Government of Canada involved, CMSCH involved, but still the shareholders of the banks, they are setting up the target, how much they want to go. That's one of the reasons, guys. We are real estate agent. We are discussing in the own group of people. That's one of the reasons. Banks year end is October 30th. That's the reason sometimes we have a problem with the September and October to qualifying the mortgages, because if they already finish up everything, their balance sheet side, they already finish up the target, they stick in their rules. So in September, October, we already seen this one. Many mortgages fail on October. We seen it. I'm only discussing. This is my only thoughts. Don't record it and come back to me legal issues. But I will be big trouble. I'm just telling you, sharing my knowledges, guys. Okay. For example, credit system, credit rating is who? The bank is setting up. Bank is setting up their own policies. Even that's the reason bank already have B lenders. B lenders. Who's the B lenders? Bank is the one funding the money. Even the banks. TD Bank, you go and check it out. How many percentage of the TD Bank shares holding by the CABC and the BMO? You will be surprised. Same thing because the banks, they have own shares for other banks. And the B lenders are bank having the B lenders. Banks having their banking policy. B lenders is leniency. Then they're looking for the credit score and giving out the mortgages. The credit is not restricted by the what do you call this stress test. That's the answer. Even that's the answer. The credit score is not restricted. Credit score is purely for the bank. Again, guys, I've been in the industry over 25 years and did many deals. You guys know that one. What you have to learn, the bankers, there's no strict rule. They are case by case. They are case by case. One bank say no, other bank say yes. Even one bank say no, the same bank say yes. Because of the application, different ways, and how well you client, how many products you have, and the agents giving how many deals the agent give. One of the agent giving the broker for 10 deals, and the 11th deal was little bit credit is little bit gray areas in the credit bureau. Still the bank will push it through, because case by case they are looking for it. Anything is possible. Okay, answer my question straightforward. There is nothing to do with credit score is not coming under the stress test. Okay, I sent out the Zoom and saying that one there are few other things I want to discuss today. Before I go, somebody have a question here. How to determine the firm price, land plus house, if there is not enough comparable properties. Okay. Alam asking the question, how to determine the land and the house. That's mean he's talking about the 5 acres land or a few bigger property with the house. If it's a builder's house, we are going for 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet lot. That's a comparable is already there. If the bigger houses, if you don't know the value. Okay, this question I'm going to leave it to you guys. Another 15 seconds, please think. Okay, one buyer calling you with the 3 acres or 5 acres land and the nice house. There's no comparables to the house. How are you going to determine the price? 15 seconds. Somebody answer.
Silva, maybe with the home price index?
Yes. Appraisers are there out there. Appraisal companies are there. Okay, you can tell the seller, okay, this your house is very unique. Give some good words. You have a nice, I don't want to undervalue your house or overvalue your house and house sitting in the market. Call the market value appraiser. Let the appraiser handle it for the pricing. You don't need to separate the land and the house separately if it is less than 5. If it is more than 5, if it is more than 5 acres, yes, you may need it for the land and the house value for the mortgage purpose. If it is less than 5 acres land and the value, we don't need to separate it. Okay, if you don't know how to value, okay, let the seller handle it. Okay, give the appraisal companies 2-3 appraisals companies and tell them you are appraising the property for the listing purpose. That's the best way to do, guys. Then you don't get the blind. And the seller know when professionals coming here and spending the money, seller going to pay $750 to get the appraisal report. Well, you can, based on that one, you can determine the right value, guys, rather than be guessing somebody's value. And another question. What is the question, Karna?
When you were talking about
10 to 15% effect for the GTA market. Okay, somebody sending the message, not to come to the voice, and sending the message saying that one stress test going to affect 10 to 15% GTA market. Please take it out from your head, that one. Stress test not going to affect us. If you think 10 to 15% going to affect, sorry, you answer it. I appreciate your answer. That doesn't mean I don't want to put down anybody's answer or anything. But we are here to bring up your energy, bring up your knowledge. We want to sell more houses to make more money, guys. Okay, we don't want to think the housing market is going to be 10 to 15% down. 10 to 15%, guys, that's a huge one. Okay, say 15%, 1 million house coming down to 850. Do you think anybody think $10 million, $1 million worth of house is going to be 850 or 900 because of the stress test? I don't think so. If this come down, yes, we can take advantage other side too, because we are always winners. We are playing the win and win game. Market goes up or market goes down, we always win. But at the same time, 10 to 15%. I'm only telling for my thoughts, guys. I am not saying I'm right, but don't keep that kind of mind in your mind, because the reason that will slow down you until the market change. Slow down your mind until the market change. That means you miss few deals in the few months time. Okay. Don't think market is going to go down because of this one. Okay. Whatever I sent out, because of, I want to share some information with you guys. It's a very serious one in my mind. Okay, I said, okay, what to expect after the recent mortgage? Okay, issue related not to deliver the deposit after the firm transaction. Okay, the question, you are going for the offer as a real estate salesperson. You are going for the offer. Your buyer buyer's offer is accepted by the seller. I'm not lying, guys. 3 issues we have this week alone. I have 3 issues. I'm going to go through that one, not to mention the agent's name, but I'm going to go through all 3 issues. The question is, you are going for the offer presentation and you are finishing the offer, deal sign. After the deal sign, the buyer doesn't want to give the deposit. That means buyer knowingly was testing the market. The first case happened not 1 week, 10 days. Okay, last week, this was happened last week. It's a vacant land. Was in the market around 6 months, and the buyer is a businessman and go with our agent, and he was gambling the price. He started with the low ball and he got the price, and the seller signed the transaction, firm up the transaction. Sorry, it's a firm offer, not a conditional offer. Firm offer was signed, accepted by the seller. After that one, the next day, within 24 hours, he said, I don't want to buy this land because this land, I cannot build a house. I cannot build a house. I don't want to buy the land. If I buy this land, I will be, I'll lose lots of money and these and that stories. We have 2 issues right now here. This story. What? We are real estate agents. We have to protect our license. If the buyer refuses to give the deposit, that doesn't affect your license. Please understand. If the buyer refuses, but you have to know what kind of vocabulary you have to use, what kind of words you have to use it to other salesperson, because this day is recording everything. Every conversation we have to understand is can be any one person can record this one and play back to you against you. In what happened, our agent was discussing with other agent. If the client buy this particular land, he'll be in big trouble, and so many issues. He talked about it. That means he was talking on behalf of the client to other agent. Everything was recorded now. Then they send me the email with the recording messages. Careful, guys. Talk to other salesperson. Watch out your vocabularies. You are a professional agent. You had to standing for the buyer or seller. You had to talk every sentence. My buyer doesn't have the money. Something happened, not to pay the deposit. My seller and my buyer, not you. You cannot stand for the buyer to give any feedback. Second thing, other deal, that's happened this week. Our salesperson called. He said he went and did more than 10 offers. I don't want to say exactly how many offers because other agent can understand. Say 15 offers. Around 15 offers. My client got the house. After my client got the house, I already made the appointment to go and see the house in the afternoon. After sign up, accepting everything, my client said, I want to see the house again. I took him to the house and he looked at the house and he said, they don't like the house. I told him, straight front told him, maybe he might be in the meeting. You are not doing the real estate agent job. You are not a professional behavior. If somebody finished a deal, they want to see the house again. You had to know very clearly they are not the real buyers. Why you wasted seller's time? Why you wasted another 15 real estate agents' time? This is exactly the question I asked. But he is lucky. Other agent is very understanding. He gave the reason after close the transaction only. He understand the mortgage issues. Anyway, he's smart. Nothing happened. He escaped. Other one, I'm getting the email yesterday. Other exactly similar deal. Deal closed, and the buyer doesn't want to give the deposit, and the seller is sending the email. Seller's lawyer sending the email. Even the first one also, seller is going for the big lawsuit now. Okay, what I understood from our some agents' conversation, some agents are thinking if no deposit, there is no deal. Guys, the reason I picked this topic today. If any one of you, 121 agents are here right now in our group. If 128 agents are in our group right now. If any one of you think if there is no deposit, there is no deal, you are 100% wrong. Please correct yourself. If there is no deposit, no deal, please correct yourself. The schedule B, yes, we are putting for our safety reason. If there is no deposit, we have the rights to cancel the deal. That means seller and the buyer is a party of the transaction. I can share one more information with you guys. Seller and buyer. I remember one of the deposit issue. The seller and buyer is the party of the transaction. Who had to sign mutual release? Buyer and seller. I can tell you one incident in our office 2 years ago. We finished the deal and we already have a close 24 hours. 24 hours, there is no deal. Then agent called me. Can I accept it? I said, no, you can't accept the other offer. Send the written confirmation, send the email to the salesperson saying that your deposit, we didn't receive your deposit. And if you don't get the deposit by 6 o'clock, your deal, we canceling it. We are going to entertain other agent. The reason, there is a law called postal law. It's a still British law, postal law under the common law. They can say, yes, my client got the deposit. We are couriering it out to you. Courier is delayed. We are posted for the Canada Post. You didn't mention don't send by Canada Post. You mentioned give me the deposit, but you didn't mention how you deliver the deposit. There is an argument there, guys. In this case, if you don't get the deposit, that doesn't mean immediately deal cancel. Then I told our agent, send the email. I don't get the response immediately. The next day, the salesperson respond exactly what I said. We send it by courier from very Sudbury area. We send it by the courier. He was lying it. They didn't send by courier. Then when I get the check, I saw it. The check was dated only after 2 days dated. Okay. There are so many things we can do. We are not running the courts. We are not running the legal department. We are real estate agent. You make money, office make money, and we go. We don't want to fight. Okay. For example, guys, don't assume anything. As a realtors, please don't tell them you make an offer and try out. If you don't like it, don't give the deposit. Please, if you have anything in your mind like that, please change it. Otherwise, the sellers can sue. You don't know which ball you are touching it. If you are touching the bad person, they can sue you big time. Most probably, I think we're going to have definite one lawsuit for our office and the agent and the client and everything. One lawsuit we're going to have. And the next one, other one, I am not one escape already. The next one, I don't know how serious is that one. One definitely we're going to have a lawsuit. Acceptance means, okay, look at your offer. Take a look at your offer. Every place as you see it, there is a black spot. That black spot means if it is a British system, if it's a regular paper and ink, it's a red color seal. The red color seals mean that's a promise. You guys all studied in the real estate, you all studied law. That's called, if you are signing under seal, that means you are promising. That means a good faith. Deposit also kind of good faith. But at the same time, signing under seal is a good faith. If you are signing under seal, we have a deal. Maybe I can share one information with you guys. I did a mistake, guys, here. In this case, I not a mistake. What happened? One of the deal. In our office deal, it happened 3-4 years ago. In property in Huntingwood area, one agent listed, 2 agents listed. Then that house that time came around 1.5 million. Then I always watch the listings. If I can, I try to watch the office listing, anything missing or in my own way. That's my job to do, all the everyday listing process. I saw the listing with 1.5 million. I'm only sharing my information with the Rico and me, what we handle it. Okay. Then I saw that listing not completed. There's no pictures and the measurement was there and so missing for the hardwood or carpet or incomplete listing. Then I immediately called the office next day morning. Is there 1.5 million listing? It's incomplete. It looks bad for our company, but there's no picture even. What exactly going on? Then they said, we called the agent wanted to put this and that. Anyway, I called the agent directly. They said, oh, the house under the renovation, that's mean we can't able to get the picture and there's no wood or carpet there, everything was removed. So many stories. Anyway, after a few weeks, one agent, the 2 agents was in the listing. One agent name was removed and he bought the offer and with his wife name, or I think so. And the deposit saying deposit is the very less deposit, and plus the deposit is posted deposit. Deposit will be issued to the office in, say, they did the deal in somewhere in June and July 30th, something like that. And the listing agent, he took his name out and put it come as a buying agent. I started to suspect this deal. Some fraud is going on that particular deal. Then I said to them, no, we need a deposit. We need a deposit, okay? That's a mistake I did for that particular transaction under RICO, but I was not in trouble anyway. I suspected the transaction. I said, without deposit, you 1.5 million deal, you was a listing agent before, now you're bringing in as a cooperating broker, there's no deposit. Okay, I don't mind, I can accept this one, but at the same time, I need a consent from the seller. Tell the seller to go to the lawyer and review this offer, and the consent from the seller we can accept for this price, and seller is accepting this price for this deal as well as without deposit. That's what I told the listing agent, and I didn't take the offer. That offer was sitting there in the office. Anyway, the end somebody in a different agent from our office and gave the deposit and this and that, and the seller came with the wife and 2 kids, and they was crying, and agents, there are lots of stories, guys. I don't want to bring that one in right now. That's not the issue. Finally, the RICO the case was filed by the buyer with the RICO as well as the smoke-flying courts, and this was cheated, and they got the different company we gave the mortgage, and the mortgage was transferred to the construction company. A lot of mess for this deal. Anyway, then the RICO called me during the time. I saw it once, few sentences here. They gave, the person gave the offer, office not to accept that offer for the particular price. What is the reason behind? Then I almost ready to say, there's no deposit. I was thinking this is a fake. I was ready to say. Then RICO inspector was nice. He said, don't say you don't get the deposit, okay? You will be in trouble. It was a nice way they word it for me. They wanted to cover me and word it for me. I understand, Selva, but don't say, they said already, don't say you didn't receive the offer because of the deposit. I said, I advised them to go to the legal concern with the lawyers. I said, okay, I marked that word. This exactly happened, guys. The reason I cheer, I thought maybe I didn't plan to tell you this one because I'm teaching you guys. I want to cheer with you. Okay, the deposit is an issue now. Please don't tell your clients, try out the offer without deposit. If you accept the offer, the next day we don't get the deposit. Even when the agent said yesterday, one of the agent, there's no deposit, Silvana, there's no deal. I said, no, who told you there's no deposit? Mark Vice Leader mentioned many times. One time he mentioned in our office too. Even though there's no deposit, there's a deal. Okay, guys, when I say Mark Vice Leader, there's a seminar. It's going to be on the 17th, I believe. We send you guys out for the email as well as a WhatsApp group messages. Please sign on. I believe only up to, I'm not really sure, according to the Homeland head office management, only 500 agents in the Zoom. If somebody come more, they didn't give me any written confirmation. If somebody more resistance come, we may open up more, but at this moment they are expecting only, because they don't all this time they never seen more than 500 people was joining the Zoom group. In that case, if you are Mark Vice are going to talk about the landlord and tenant issue, it's a very good issue. Homeland head office paying the money for Mark Vice to arranging this one. Guys, please register. While you are registering, it's Kanna already sent the information. Go and click the Homeland head office website and register it. If you are as a brand new agent, if you join only 1 or 2 months and you're having difficulties how to get in the Homeland head office website, please call the office. They will guide you. That's an email address as well as a cell phone number. They will guide you and they.
Me, Selva.
Yes, Rachna.
Sorry. So I just wanted to confirm. So suppose if I'm the buyer's client and everything is gone, like they accept the offer, everything is all good. So if the buyer doesn't give the deposit, can the seller sue me and the buyers both, or only the buyer? Like, what is the recourse?
Seller can sue you and sue you if you go out of the way and say during the presentation, I know my buyer is qualified already. They told me they are qualified and they have money in the bank. They want to pay 30% deposit. Everything unnecessary words. If you give them, they can ask you. I can ask you why you committed those kind of things, because you wasted our time and other person time. If you going only for the without firm offer and you don't talk about the financing, they say buyer gave me, this is the offer buyer gave me. If you don't use the word to extra words to get the deal, and you are acting and you are talking on behalf of the buyer side, you may be in trouble in this situation. But if you are careful enough to say the buyer, the next day buyer didn't give the deposit, he is hiding from you. Nothing you can do. Rachna, your liabilities are very minimum, because if you work under the RICO regulations. As for my experience, all this real estate office, already 19 years I'm running it, I've seen many cases. If the real estate salesperson, sorry guys, don't record these things. If the real estate salesperson initially on behalf of the client, sign on behalf of the client, you are in trouble. You may even lose a license. Anything else, you have a chance to explain to RICO. And even some agents use a bad word between other agents. So many cases we got while the agent showing the properties using the washroom, the pandemic time, making more than, even one agent called me 2 weeks ago when they're walking in the basement, the kids drop the standalone mirror and break the mirror. And they're saying the listing agent asked me $200 is worth only $100. I said, listen, your client break it. You can argue $100 or $200. Okay. What I am trying to say, Rachna, your question is a good question. As long as you do your job under the ethic and as a professional salesperson, you are not going to be in trouble. If the seller doesn't, only thing the listing company and the seller can ask you, give me the details of the buyer, because you had to have the FinTrack sign. In that case, if they ask you, you may have the obligation to share the buyer's information to the listing agent and the seller. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question. Anyone have any question, guys? Okay, I want to go to other one. Yesterday we are having an issue. It's not a major issue, but it's a regular real estate agent transaction. One of the commercial lease, our agent and the landlord, they are very nice, very professionals. Other side agent, he was dragging the conditions over a month, and finally they said they want another one more month, and want another free rent for 3 months. Can be anything they ask. But what happened? Our agent, then they send the mutual release. The agent said, if you don't like it, send the mutual release. They send the mutual release to our agent, and giving the time period only for 3 hours time. You have to sign this one and give back to me within 3 hours. And our agent said, the client, my landlord not in town. My landlord is out of town. Then he sent me the message around morning 11:15 and saying that one, you had to solve this issue before 12 o'clock. If somebody says you had to solve this issue before 12 o'clock, definitely we know we're not going to solve this. It's a human business, guys. But the landlord, what I'm trying to say here, the mutual release between who? Landlord and tenant, buyer and the seller. And the real estate agent, real estate companies, real estate broker of record, who are they? They are nothing. The mutual release supposed to signed by landlord and the tenant. After the landlord and the tenant for the lease, or else buyers and sellers sign. If the buyers refuse to sign, seller refuse to sign, brokerage cannot do anything. You understand that concept? Understand that concept, guys. Before you give the offer to other properties, be professional. Okay, for the mutual release, some agents, they client sign the mutual release and they bother me. Silvana, sign the mutual release before I send it to other company. Nothing's like that. First, the client supposed to sign. Buyer and seller supposed to sign. Those are the one important signatures. Broker of record signature is a formality. I want to share one information with you guys because these are the knowledge building I put today, knowledge building. Okay, one of the Remax office was in Mississauga. They went for bankruptcy. And we are the listing agents, listing company, listing brokerage, and we was holding the deposit. The brokerage went for bankruptcy. And that's been, RICO took over the brokerage. Then the mutual release, only the client signed. And the broker record disappeared. Their company is not there. Then other side agent, our agent asking me, can you release the deposit? That was the first transaction. I went through this one. Then I called the RICO. Our support line is a RICO, right? Then I called the RICO inspector and asked them, this is the situation right now. RICO inspectors told me, I mean, the regulatory bodies told me, the party of the transaction for the mutual release, buyer and seller, not you, Selva, or else not other broker record. As long as the party of the transaction sign, you are safe and you release. For this situation, I told them, This situation I told my agent. Party of the transaction, your landlord. If your landlord, until the landlord come to town, nothing we can do. You are not in liable. Only thing, update the agent. Party of the transaction, landlord not in town. Send it out the message and wait for it. This I wanted to share with you guys. And what's the other one I want to share with you today for the knowledge building side? Okay, the transaction doesn't close for the buyer. For the transaction doesn't close for the lawyer side. If you have any questions, come and ask me, or else send it to me the questions. Until such time, we can transaction and we can pick something and talk. I have more information to talk to you guys. Okay, the transaction. Okay, I am hearing so many sad stories, guys, because I'm running the brokerage one side. More than running the brokerage, I have the lending company. We're going to have a party very soon for the lending company. We are reaching the first goal set somewhere in July. That's other story anyway. The lending company, I get the calls from different real estate sales agents from other offices, as well as the clients and the lawyers. The part is, if the client doesn't close the transaction, they don't close the transaction, and the day of the transaction they don't close it, then they are losing the deposit big time. As a realtor, as a real estate salesperson, what is your responsibilities here right now? Okay, for example, if the transaction doesn't close, nothing you can do. There's a buyer has to get the mortgage. But if you are involved for the mortgage, the transaction doesn't close. If you are communicating the buyer, you are looking after the mortgage, and if they have any kind of messages, they can go to the courts and sue you. You was looking after the mortgage and the transaction didn't go through, and you are responsible. And if you are an agent, even though you are not directly involved with the mortgages, please communicate with other salespeople. And say how is now that these days the sellers are not genuine enough. They are looking for the money grabbing many cases. Even I can tell you guys, within 2 to 3 weeks time, one of the deal, we are the listing company. Other companies, Remax agent, he studied that time. He studied in our real estate classes, and he didn't join my office, and he worked different places. And he was my tax client too. That agent. That's mean he know me very well. And he called me, guys. Believe me, Saturday morning, I don't need to make up stories, guys. Please believe me. That agent was crying. After a few words, Silvana, I said, I know your voice. Then he started to cry. Then why? $80,000 deposit in our office. Transaction doesn't close. The next day, the seller doesn't want to sell the property. Then I said, okay, why did you wait until last minute? You should have to act in the morning. You should have to communicate with the other real estate agent and see the seller's side, or else you have to tell the lawyer to get the extension in 2-3 days in advance. Why you didn't do it? Honestly saying, guys, believe me, the agent was crying that day. I don't know, my buyer, $80,000 is a huge big money. He doesn't mind to go for private mortgage. I said, yes, I do private mortgages. I can't even give you right away within 1 hour for this deal. But at the same time, sellers say, no, transaction is closed. Then I told him, your mistake is here. Why you didn't communicate with the other salesperson? Why you didn't communicate with the lawyers professionally? And you're crying right now. I understand you are innocent reason. I said, this is big sad stories, guys. Other case, my very good known people, not our office involved. Two of the office involved. The transaction didn't close that particular day. The next day, seller asked, give me $45,000 more. I'll give you price increase. Okay, not the extra deposit. Price increase, another 45,000 more, and they started with 75,000 and brought it down to 45,000. Give me $45,000 more. I'll give you 5 days to close the house. $45,000 they lost. If they go for the second mortgage or private mortgages, how much they're going to pay? $10,000 maximum. Okay. The reason I'm telling you guys, whatever I am hearing, you may not going to hear, because you are a realtor, but you deal with your own clients only. Well, I am hearing it one side from the real estate brokerage side, other side from the mortgage lending side. So many sad stories, guys. I can say the deal doesn't close and clients losing the money almost a month, 4-5 deals a month. And some sellers are very lenient. They are giving us extension and getting it. Some sellers are looking for the time to get money and go. This is not a one story, guys. This is many stories we are hearing in the mortgage side. Please, what you have to, how do you can protect that one? That's the other one I'm going to tell you right now. If you know questions, that's what I'm going to tell you right now. How you can save your clients. If the deal doesn't close, guys, you don't get the money. Even though you work hard and everything, the deal doesn't close. The seller losing the money, as I said, other deal, I said, the buyer is losing $80,000. $80,000. The agent, all this hard work, and he was crying. That's been, when he talked to me, he was crying. Then how miserable was his house, and the environment in the situation. Okay, what you have to do, how do you can protect? Anything we can protect, guys. Anything we can protect. How we can protect? Plan it, prepare it yourself. I want all, now I'm seeing 133 members are here. Every single one, ask yourself, if you don't have it, create one checklist. Checklist. If you don't have one, write it down. If you are in the car or listening, put it in your phone. As I said in the notebook. Checklist. You must have a checklist. What kind of checklist you are going to make? Your checklist, you should have few things, guys. Condo. If we are dealing with a condo buyers, condo sellers. If you are selling the condo with the buyer, what the schedule? Your checklist supposed to have. Your checklist supposed to have. If you have a buyer client, yes. When is the condition expiring? You should know when is the condition expiring. Mortgage condition, financing condition. Financing condition. If you have an inspection and the status certificate, you have to have a checklist to show that one. While I am telling the checklist, I'm going to share another message. This has happened in our office 2 weeks ago. One of the salesperson called me at 7 o'clock Friday evening and said, Silvana, my condition is expiring tonight. I sent the office 6:30 to prepare the waiver. I want to meet the client at 7:30. I didn't get it yet. I said, you finished the deal. When you finish the deal? Last week. How many days the condition? You was waited 5 days. You sent it only 30 minutes ago to the office, and you calling me and complaining? Complain to yourself. Go to the mirror and complain to yourself first. Exactly, this is the answer I gave him, guys. Don't think I'm rude. Sorry, guys. If I tell one agent, I don't want to tell you guys. If I am rude, I feel I am rude. Why did you wait for 5 days time and sending out to 6:30 in the evening, and within half an hour you complaining the girls who working there? Why you did all this time? You're a professional salesperson. Once you have a conditional offer, why don't you prepare the waiver and keep it in your hand? Or if you want to make an amendment, make it another amendment. This is every agent supposed to have our own. I told him, you complain, go to the mirror and complain yourself rather than complain to me for our staff. Okay, he text me the address. I can see what is going on in our office side. Guys, what I am saying, we are making money, guys. We are making chunk of money for this industry. We all know that one. That's the reason we are here. Plan it yourself. Please. I'm not telling everybody. I just think it's a guideline. I'm complaining anybody in our group because you guys are listening. You're not complaining. I'm telling us a guideline. Okay, the checklist. Okay, the first checklist, if you are selling the condo, you had to have that one. For the status certificate. Of course, after 3 days or 4 days, you have to call the other agent and say, did you apply for the status certificate? If he said yes, if he said no, okay, you had to apply, man, and we had to have the certificate on time. Okay, then you had to ask the buyer client, who is your lawyer going to work on this particular deal. Then after the certificate comes, you have to send it to the certificate for the lawyer. You have to ask the lawyer. Just picking some example and telling you what kind of computers they have. How are you going to deliver the certificate? Hard copies, soft copies, USBs. Some law office doesn't want to take the USB. They have a virus. And some law officers, if somebody sends zip files, they don't know. Some lawyers, they've been in the business for 40 years. They don't know how to open the zip files for the certificate. Then the agent has to go to the Home Depot, Staples, and print out. That's another $50 for the full paper certificate to print it out of the long sheet and short sheet. Guys, put it in and tell the agent, I need the hard copies. My lawyer only read the hard copies, or else ask the lawyer what kind of capacity they have. In your checklist, just picking only for the condo buyers, guys. And you continue the same way. Mortgage condition, you have to follow up with the mortgage brokers. Follow up with the mortgage brokers. You don't need to stand for the mortgage brokers. You don't need to recommend for the mortgage brokers. If you're recommending, you have to recommend three mortgage brokers and follow it up the regulation. That's not my side now. That's the teaching right now for the checklist. Talk to the mortgage brokers and make it ready for the mortgages. And talk to the lawyers to follow it up. And what else you had to do? You had to, after the transaction close, they had to get the access for the elevator. How many agents are booking for the elevator for the clients? You don't need to book for the elevator. We are not a slave people, but at the same time, the service, guys. After service, even the vehicle, they don't talk about the vehicle price. They talk about the service. Even some companies saying they're charging the money more, Mercedes, and saying 3 years, no service free. Nothing is free, guys. We all know nothing is free. They're charging money in advance. We are real estate agents. Your service, you have to inform them to book the elevator. Innocent client doesn't know. Even the scan card and the front door card, some agent doesn't care, not care enough, and those people are return it and get $50 in their pocket. But the clients buying it, they go there and stand in front of the door like a regular guys, regular visitor with their own condos. Checklist you should have to check it out. The lawyers, the scan card, parking, what kind of access for the parking. Even when you buy the condo, many agents doesn't even go to the parking and see where is the parking located, how easy parking is. One of the guy complained after he buy the condo, his parking is very first parking, the close to the garage entrance door. He said he cannot go out. He always go back and come out every day. Guys, these are the things you had to do it. If you are selling for the condo, what do you have to do? You had to remember yourself to apply for the certificate to the companies. Management companies, and you had to seller. You had to find who is a lawyer and send it in advance. If the mortgage, first mortgages, if it's a variable mortgage, you can't get a payout in 1 day time. They need some time for the payout mortgage payouts. And if they have second mortgages in place for the condo, write it down. If you start to write down, you can get more and more information. And the houses, guys, even the houses. When you list the property, get the listing for the checklist. Other than the preparation, you have a checklist. You have to see it. For example, survey. You have to ask the client they have a survey or not. If they have a survey, you don't need to give the survey up front with the offer. You can give a copy of the survey, but you have to have a survey in place. And if you don't have a survey, tell them up front you don't have a survey. What I'm trying to say, guys, very, very important. Every single transaction, you should have a checklist to follow the checklist. But the reason I said, one of the agent called me yesterday, and said, my clients bought a condo. That's one of the reasons I said after all this one, remind you guys. Thank you very much. 144 members are joining this Zoom today. Please come out and ask me questions and learn yourself, discipline yourself. The $1 million going to be in your pocket, guys. If you have a discipline, $1 million going to be in your pocket. That's the only one I could say. Your habit, change your habit, read books. You have to read books. You must read books. Doesn't matter what language you're reading it. Any topic, you have to read books and bring up your knowledge. Do some physical exercise, mental exercise, discipline yourself. Marketing, look at the product and do marketing. The money is waiting to come to your pocket. Okay. All right. The question yesterday, the agent asked me, his clients bought it's exactly the way he asked. Maybe the agent might be in the group. It's a good question he asked me, but at the same time, he never thought about it. The answer, certain answers. Okay. He said my client bought a condo. After condo townhouses, the client bought the condo townhouses, he want to do some renovation. He is calling the management office few times. Management office not answering the phone call. Is there any place we can complain the management office? The clients ask him, just one. Second thing, management office not to answer. That means we can start the renovation without a permission. Can we start the renovation without a permission? And then I said, no. You can't do it. The management office doesn't answer it. Maybe you have to find who is the one. You have a place to complain. Just after he become a owner, he can go to the board meeting as a regular board meeting, and he can be a board member. Definitely, everybody will notify. You are an owner of the condo. You can go there and you can complain the board of directors, the management who is running it, not answering the phone call. This is the experience I had when I bought this condo. This is the experience. But I said to him, the condominium means we are a community living. When we are living in the community living, we cannot do the renovation without the permission, guys. We have to have the management of the renovation. There are downtown condos. Even though you want to repair anything, you have to repair through the management. Even the regular repairs, Even the washing machine vent is blocking. You have to call the management, and there are specialized people who repair it, that particular condo. They come and do the maintenance. For example, you cannot do. I told him today I'm going to give you homework. I told him you have to go and read what are the times you can do the renovation. Go there and Google it and read the agent. What are the times you can renovate it? That means you cannot do the renovation after 8 o'clock. It's a common sense. After 8 o'clock in the evening, sunlight, sunset time, and the morning until 9 o'clock, you can do the renovation. Sundays everybody sleep. You can start to knock the floor. What I'm trying to say, this is a knowledge building class. This is a common sense. He said, okay. The agent asked me, okay, we gave the status certificate to the clients. That's been said. The client supposed to read the status certificate, and he is responsible for his own action. I said, yes, he is responsible for own action, but we are responsible as a professionals to advise them. Whoever doesn't know, this is the answer I gave him. Again, guys, please create the checklist. Organize yourself. For the offers, making the offers and everything. Organize yourself. Learn yourself to make the offer. There's a link coming these days for the offer. There's a very easy to make. I'm not passing the office job to you guys. After office hours, one of the agent called me. That was a long weekend holiday, and Saturday morning. I'm pretty sure he will be in this group today. He called me and said, Silvana, is a commercial offer. I sent it to I called the office, and the office said commercial offers, the data staff can do it. Then is it going to be available on Tuesday? And I'm here. I want to present the offer. I said yes. It's a normal rule, but I as a broker and I was a salesperson. I treat myself as a salesperson, guy. I never treat myself as a sitting a manager or anything. I was in the street and I was making money in the real estate industry. I always treat myself like a regular salesperson. Then only I can look after you guys. Okay, I never feel like I'm the boss or manager. Then I told him, you are looking the property today, and until Tuesday you are waiting it. No. After I talking to you, I can't allow that one. But the commercial is a tricky one. Some residential office, they don't even make the commercial offers. They ask the lawyers to make the commercial offer. Okay, I was asking him, and I was helping him. I was calling the office and talking to the office staff who can help him out, and we sent the offer right away. And I was mad with him a little bit indirectly. Then he called me on Tuesday afternoon and talked about the same offer. Then I told him, I value your time. You asked me Saturday. I said, okay, immediately give the offer. That's the reason I spend my time and call the office and make the offer. Tuesday, Monday was holiday. Tuesday afternoon, you asked me about the offer, and what you did all these 4 days. Today is today. Real estate industry. Tomorrow is tomorrow, guys. If somebody liked the property, you had to do it right away. And he gave me the answer, right answer, but seller was not available and listing agent was not available and everything. Okay, for example, guys, what I am trying to say, learn to make few things in your site. You keep a copy of the whenever you visit, keep the copy of the feature sheets. When you have an offers, keep the copy of the offers. The link always expire in 14 days time. Then you can even get the blank offers. Very easy to fill out. Very easy, very easy to fill out. At least you can start with that one, and you can get the even Saturday night after 6 o'clock. Office is closed. You want to give an offer? Why not, guys? That's your bread and butter. That you are here to make millions here. Learning the offer.
I have a quick question, Silvana. Is
Yes,
it possible I can ask now? So let's say if we get an offer on a property, listing property on Saturday evening, and we would like to send an email out to all of the people who showed our property just to make sure that we tell everyone that we have an offer. So if they are interested, they can put an offer on our property too. So like, let's say we want to, because there are some agents on the other side, they always like to send an offer after 5 p.m. on Saturday. So we cannot like send an email out or whatever.
So your question is not clear for everybody. Only you know your question. 130 people are listening. Can you repeat your question very clearly?
Absolutely.
You are a listing. Okay, listen. You are a listing agent.
I
Okay,
am.
I repeat your question because I understood.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 130 people's time is here. Okay. You are the listing agent. You listed the property, and you receive the offer on that day, Saturday. That's the question. Saturday you receive the offer, and if somebody receives the offer, do you have a set set offer date, or there's no set offer date?
No set offer date. Preemptive
No
offer.
set offer date. That's mean, okay, that preemptive offer means you set offer date and you
Yes.
are saying you can accept the offer in advance. That's
Exactly.
called preemptive. That's called preemptive offer. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
exactly. That's right.
That's been okay. Our office system is a computer system that will send out the information to all the agents who show the property. If the one agent register the offer in our office, that's mean if you go to the front office system, if you mark your listing, one offer registered. If the system shows one offer registered, that will go through everyone in the every agent who show the property in their email address. If they having a different email address, they don't get it. But if they having the right profile in the Toronto Real Estate Board, everybody will get it. But your question is, if you have a preemptive offer, you must inform. That's your job, not office job. You must inform every other agent who show the property. You have an offer. You're going to present the offer that day night. Okay. Can you ask a question? Can you ask your question now?
Yes, so that's exactly what it is. So I was wondering, is there any way that we can get all the information from the TREB or whatever mechanism office does it on Saturday evening, since Saturday office closes a little earlier?
Nothing is magic. We are not closing earlier. We are not closing earlier. No other offices open Saturday after 5 o'clock. We are
No. I mean, like earlier for us in a way that somebody sends us offer after 5, then we do not have access to that information, or do we? That's what my question is. I'm not pointing fingers. Of course, there is office hours.
No, not that. But I want to make it sure. Don't think I'm rude or anything. I just want to make sure clearly, because there are 130 people are listening. In that case, I had to be very clearly what we are doing it. Okay. For example, office hours are office hours. Before office close, they have a system. They can pull out and give it to you, or who are the agents seen it. Or else, as a listing agent, you have to get the updates every few days time to keep it yourself. That's the only one I would say. There is other way to show it.
Contact office. That's what you're saying. So we should contact office before they close to get that information.
Before the office close. Okay, for example, if you're going to receive the offer, preemptive offer after 5 o'clock, that's mean you cannot entertain the same person before midnight. If you want to get more offers, you can tell the other agent, give me the time frame until next day
Right.
noon. Next day noon,
Right.
and early morning 9 o'clock, you can get the information from the office and send it out. Or else if you have a listing, if your listing is really busy, you can get update every few days and ask them to send out the list of the people who seen the property. In
Awesome.
that case, you can have it in your file.
That's exactly what I was looking for. So I can call office and send me the list of people. Okay, great. Thank you.
Good, sir. I know what I am talking in front of everybody, but there's a way to do it, but it's very hard to explain at this moment to you. Okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. There's a question here right now. Who should get status certificate? Buyer, seller, or who pay for it? What is the point of the offer? Should you get status certificate? Again, what is the point? What is the point of the offer? Should you get status certificate? I don't understand the last part. At what point of the offer should I get the status certificate? Okay, status certificate is like compare the status certificate for the building compared to your life. It's like a blood test. They're going to tell you everything, whatever is there. Status certificate is a documentation going to tell you the property square foot, what happened to the property all this time, any fire came out before or not, and plus the swimming pool category, pet regulation for that particular condo, as well as the any slip and fall insurance, somebody have a lawsuit in that particular condo, and plus any other issues for the swimming pool, any other issues for the constructions, any other issues for the drainage water line. So many things we can talk. And the last part, the present owner having any money owing to the company. That's the last part. For example, last 2 months, the present owner didn't pay for the maintenance fees. Maintenance fees is run through the building, not the person's name. In that case, the lawyers need to know what is the status of the maintenance fees situation. And plus, the salesperson might say the maintenance fees is only $330, and maybe the maintenance fees changed $360. Agent didn't update it. Seller didn't tell the agent, and maybe one of the time maybe heating is included. Now maybe the hydro we had to pay our own. There are so many things there. Everything's going to be there in the updated status certificate. Once you ask me at what point, okay, at what point is me, the very good question you asked me at what point. Sorry, your question I was reading in the TV screen, I didn't get clearly. Okay, what point is a very good question. Okay, for example, status certificate. What point? After offer acceptance, buyer giving the offer to the seller. After offer acceptance, status certificate supposed to come. Guys, don't follow 100% what I am saying and fight with the other agent. But we had to close the transaction. We are salespeople. But he asked me what point. I'm telling the legal aspect. Okay. After signed the status, after signed the offer and acceptance, who applying? Buyer can apply. Buyer can apply with the offer. Seller can apply with the offer. Buyer agent can apply with the offer. Seller's agent can apply with the offer. Doesn't matter. As long as you have the offer, you give the offer to the building management authority peoples, and the standard fees is $100, and you will get it. What point? After offer acceptance. That's the point. Status certificate going to issue under the buyer's name, not seller's name. This is the legal technicalities. The status certificate going to issue this particular buyer requesting the money, even though seller pay the money. Guys, don't go too deep on that one. Then you will fight with the other agent and break the deals. But technicality, the status certificate is supposed to apply after the offer. Nowadays, the multiple offer. Some agents are getting the status certificate in 5 days in advance, and status certificate on place. They're giving status certificate right away for you to freeze the transaction. We are deal makers, not a deal breakers. But as a broker record, I have to tell you the question. What point I mentioned after the accepting the offer, we had to give the offer to the management company, and the status certificate supposed to come, unit name, unit number, and everything to the buyer's name. That's 100% valid one. If some lawyers doesn't accept it, the status certificate is 2 months old. Okay, who applying doesn't matter. Anybody can apply with the offer. Without offer, seller's unit, you can apply it. Okay. Another question, I don't know if I can ask the question on this meeting. One of my client building a new bungalow in Oshawa. Building a new bungalows in Oshawa, and it will complete next week. Okay, that's good. He asked me to list the property. Is there anything that I had to do something different of my deal with the listing as usual listing? How is the HST is going to pay is here? Okay, for this chat, this is a very good question, guys. But his question is somebody building the house in Oshawa. Somebody building the house in Oshawa, and the house is going to be complete in 1 week time. They ask him to list the property. What he has to do the listing of the property different than anything else. Okay, for example, this is a custom built property. When it's a custom built property, it's a brand new property. Then you have to put it as a brand new house. Just as a brand new house come, HST is involved. The HST is involved for the who is the one paying the HST? Buyer is going to pay for the HST to the seller. And the residential transaction, if you make it form number 100, HST is including. That means seller much safer way include the HST in the price, and let the seller handle the HST with his own accountant, because he knows how much it costs to build the property and how much is the ICT input tax credit he want to claim with the CRA. And those kind of things that tell that you don't need to handle as a GST advice. Real estate agent doesn't need to give the GST advice. And this case, not only the GST advice, there are some other things there, because the buyer bought the land as a residential land, and maybe for example, for 300,000 or 500,000, after build the property, he's going to sell it for 2 million now. That's mean the land value, he bought it for 0, and he's selling it as a 200,000 brand new house, land and the house together as a residential site. That HST, we are talking about the HST for $260,000 HST. That's you have to be careful with that site. Which forms we are using it. What's the seller's instruction? Tell the seller to get the legal advice for the accountant, and seller to get the legal advice for the lawyers to review the offers. But the builder's offers are different. Builder putting the offer, you can see it 50 pages and fine print, so many things in the fine print. In that case, builders offers are going to be different, covering everything. As a regular person, you're going to build a property, you list the property in the regular listing as a resale listing site. But a brand new house, you're going to put under the regular market. And what are the things you have to be careful? Okay, tell the seller to consult with the lawyer. Let the seller to handle the HST part with the accountant. You are not handling, but at the same time, warranty, whether they have a Tyrian warranty for this property or no warranty. If there's no warranty, what kind of holding they're going to have. Sometimes there's no warranty. The buyer may ask the buyer's lawyer or the seller's lawyer to keep $25,000 in the trust account for another 3 years. If there are an issue, 25,000 or up to 100,000, can be anything for the without a warranty certificate. There are a few things is involved. Okay, but in your side, you have to tell the seller to consult with the lawyer, tell with the accountant, and you have to work with the lawyers who is the one they are consulting with. And after that listing, and every offer, I can tell you the last word, every offer you get the condition, the schedule B. Please make the schedule B the lawyer's condition. Seller supposed to have the lawyer's condition. Seller supposed to review the lawyer's condition. In that case, you don't need to get in trouble. You don't need to be in the hook. Let the seller handle their own way. Make sure to put the schedule B or sell the office, and make sure to put the schedule B, or else other agent advise other agent. Buyer and the seller has to have the legal advice before firm up the transaction. In that case, you can save yourself and your licensing side. Go ahead and do it. We are real estate agent. We want the deals, but at the same time, be careful on these sides. Okay. The last question. If anybody has a question, I can spend a few minutes to answer your question.
Selvana, vanakkam, nan Mahesh again.
Yes, Mahesh.
Mahesh, can you tell me about some corporate some listing that it says corporate commission 1 cent and deposit goes to the seller lawyer. Can you explain about that listing?
Sure. Yeah, Mahesh, it's a very good question. Mahesh, that's a very good practical question. Okay, for example, cooperating commission $1. What does that mean? That's called mail listings. In 2012, I believe it's 2012 or 13, RICO changed the regulation. Based on the Competition Bureau's some cases. What happened? Listing is different than marketing. If the listing agent lists the property and he is not doing the marketing, not staging the property, not open house, only put the sales sign and going to sleep at the house. In that case, seller's argument, Competition Bureau argument those days, why the agent wanted to pay, why the sellers wanted to pay chunk of commission to the salesperson if the salesperson not doing, only putting the listing in the system and he is going to sleep at home. He's not doing any marketing. In that case, what happened? Recovering the regulation saying that one, Ontario alone, they divided the commission portion, one listing portion and one the marketing portion. After that one, they come up with the minimum listing commission even can be $2. That means the listing company, the listing agent, what he is doing it, he just charging maybe $99 or $999 as a lump sum fees and putting the listing in the system. That's mean we are real estate agent. We are lucky. We was worried one point. Government can change the regulation. Anybody can list the property. Okay, that was stopped, and they are giving the access to the salespeople until now list the property. Then the listing hold this under the CREA regulation and everything. We are still holding the power to list the property in the MLS system. Okay, but at the same time, if the seller saying I am smart enough, I want the listing come to the MLS and other real estate agents and everybody has to look at it, and I can do my own marketing. That means booking is going to be under the seller. Call seller direct and book the property. Listing company not going to do anything after they list the property in the system. After they list the property in the system, they are not doing it. All the appointments going through the seller directly, and the seller going to pay for the commission directly to the buyer under the seller's form. The commission going to be collected by the seller's lawyer, not the real estate office handling the cooperating commission. Mahesh, This is the difference between the $2 listing. That means you can show the property, and after you show the property, you have to sign the form for the seller paying the commission directly to you. After that forms, you are making the deal, and after the deal closed, and you have to give the office to that form, and we have to send it to the seller's lawyer. And the major difference is, if two companies are involved, cooperating broker, Toronto Real Estate Board is in the middle for the arbitration or anything if you don't get the commission. Anyway, the commission is.
I called the Purple Brick listing company. They said you can make the deposit to a buyer brokerage too. It's okay that?
Yes, you can do that one. You can do that one. If the buyer brokerage office can able to keep it, that's much better for the commission side. But most of the time is go to the lawyers. The deposit holders can be anybody, either buyer's lawyer, seller's lawyer, not for the buyer or seller, because the trust account supposed to hold a deposit. In that case, yes, buyer's real estate office can hold it, or else lawyers can hold it. It's possible, Mahesh. Yes. The purple does can. There are so many other companies are doing it. They are listing agent only charging for the listing commission. For the commission, they're charging to input the listing in the system. Everything else handled by the sellers direct and sellers lawyer direct.
Thank you.
There's a question, Kana. Okay, the bank or lawyer will can you push it up a little bit? The bank, okay, the bank or lawyer will need to require a status certificate and must need a status certificate, because even buyers knows very well of the condo. Yes, Manohar, and you know the condo very well, but the bank doesn't want to know the condo very well. Maybe you know the condo very well, but the last month somebody suing for $5 million lawsuit in the condo. You may not be aware of that one. In that case, before the banks give you the mortgage, they want to get a copy of the status certificate. That's a must. Yes, answer is yes, it's a must. Banks supposed to get the status certificate and India record. They want to keep it from the lawyers. Yeah, get it from the lawyers.
I want to see a few things.
Okay, can I like to share some information, guys? Okay.
Perfect. I'm just gonna put Selvan on mute. Perfect. Since we have great leadership and viewership today, over 120 people, that's amazing. I just want to share a few things regarding the listing side. Hope everyone can hear me well. Perfect. So Selvana brought up the aspect of having a listing checklist, and something that I really think people should include in that, and Selvana may expand on this. Two recent situations we've seen before, or I've seen just in the last 1 month, is client is buying a property. They sold a condo, and they're buying a property. The sale of their condo is happening June 15th, and the purchase is happening in July. I sat down with the client, spoke to them about the mortgage.
Could we interrupt, Kanan, Mr. Kanan? It is echoing. Sorry to interrupt you, though. It is echoing.
Okay, so maybe you guys can hear me now. So in this case, the client was sold one property and was buying another property, and the source of down payment was for that. Now, in this case, what happened was the client was not aware that she was going to be paying $40,000 or $45,000 because of that sale. She had a fixed mortgage with around $800,000 remaining on that contract, with 4 years remaining on that term. The agent was not aware of the client's financial position on that property that they were selling, and also she was unable to go to the same bank to get this to get the loan. I had to break the news for the client that she has to bring another $50,000 for the new purchase, which she believed would be coming from the sale of the condo. So the client was really upset, knowing that if she was to pay $50,000 to discharge as a penalty to the bank when selling the condo, she would not have. So I think it's very important for everyone to understand that it's extremely important to also understand your client's financial position, especially when you're about to list the property. Always ask them for a mortgage statement. Always find out how much of a mortgage they have. We had a situation in the office. One of our own office agents listed a property, sold it, and then realized that the sellers did not have enough funds to even pay out any of the commissions for that deal. So that means the loan that they had on that property that they were selling was much higher than the value of that home which it was sold for. So in situations like this, there's commission issues where the buyer's agents or the seller's agents won't even be compensated for the services. So it's extremely important to look into the financial aspect when listing a property. Just additional information you should be aware of. With that in mind, I think we can wrap up today's conversation. Thank you very much. Great participation today, and we'll see you guys next week. We'll go from there.
Karan, I have a question.